Hey y'all, this is A.L. Thick Madame, and this is the recap for the first episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So, this episode started out with Marceau and Letitia Scott, and she's trying to run around with the kids at the house, getting them ready for school. One of them got to go to the doctor, all this other stuff, and she actually is working full time. So, she is a full time mom and actually working. Y'all, I'm trying to move these gray hairs around. They're doing the most. Excuse me. But anyway, so he was like, what all is going on today? What all do you have going on? And so she started listing off everything literally from that morning until that night. She has like other random stuff outside of work that she has to do outside of the kids, outside of her whole family. So he's just trying to figure out, how is all this really going to play out? So he's trying to have a little quick talk with her again because, as we saw last season, he didn't even want her to start working. He wanted her to be at the house with the kids, be a stay-at-home mom like she was doing before. And he actually wanted that to continue on for the rest of time, basically, until everybody moved out the house. I mean, that's just what it was. So now that she actually is doing all this stuff, the situation has come to their attention again. And so she was like, well, my mom can move in. And they talked about this last season. Her mama ain't here for him. He ain't here for the mama. And he's like, well, that's fine for when I'm out of town. But as far as when I come home, she's going to still be there. And they bump heads. So I don't know how that's going to go over. But both of them have hectic schedules. Because of him being a contractor or whatever, sometimes his jobs are actually out of state, and because of where Huntsville is located, he could easily go to Tennessee or go to what else? Tennessee definitely is right there. What else? What, Mississippi? Like, he can go to a random place like in no time. Georgia, whatever, but Tennessee is like right there. So like that day, that just came on. He has to go out of town that day. So, and he makes me sick. He didn't even tell her. So he was like, well, I'm going out of town. You going out of town? Like, he's just one of them people where I tell you what I want to tell you, or you have to ask me and I might tell you. Like, he just, I cannot with Marceau. I really can't. So Maurice Scott, who is the brother of Marceau Scott, and his new wife of 6 months, Kimmy Scott, they are going on this safari. Now, I don't know how long this has been around, but apparently Huntsville has a drive-through safari like a lot of other places are seeming to do nowadays. I didn't hear about it when I used to visit Huntsville from time to time with my ex, so I'm confused. But anyway, they went on that. I don't know why he decided to do that. He thought that would be an adventurous type of thing for them to do, or whatever, to just do something out of the ordinary, off the beaten path, as he said. But y'all know the type of woman that she is. Just in case, you actually saw the first season, you know how she is. She ain't here for nothing like this. So I'm like, whatever. So they were done with that. So then they went off somewhere and were sitting and talking. And so we're trying to figure out what's going on with their actual honeymoon, because they haven't been on the honeymoon yet. And so he was like, well, I got a lot going on. So she was thinking next month. And he's like, I'm in school. I can't just, do all that. He's in law school. So ain't nobody got time for that. He has a business and he's in law school. So he's doing the absolute most. And the ex-wife has his child. So that's one less thing he has to worry about at this moment. But summertime is going to be upon them soon. So they're going to have to figure out, something as far as that is concerned. But she really wants to have her honeymoon before the kids come back around, because her son is in college and his son is still underage. So yeah, doesn't really matter about the older one, because that child can come and go. But the youngest one, he does need to spend as much time as he can with his father. But Kimmy did mention that, she hasn't talked to Melody in a while, but she's supposed to be having some kind of gig. And it's like Mimosas with Melody or something like that. And so They haven't heard from her or her husband. Don't know what's going on. Last time they saw him was like at the wedding, their wedding 6 months ago. And they see that some progress has happened with the houses and all that stuff. Like the houses are actually built. But y'all know the comeback group is not a part of that. So Melody and them, they have all that stuff going. Her husband, they got all that stuff going like they're supposed to. Doing what they're supposed to do. What is it, Martell and Melody? They doing what they're supposed to do on their end. The houses and stuff have been built. And that's it. Like, as far as the comeback group, nothing's going on. So, gonna try to get in contact with them. I guess if nothing happens as far as just talking on the phone before Kimmy meets up with Melody, if she really does decide to go to this little gig that Melody's having, then I guess she'll find the time to, you know, see what's going on when she sees her there. So the next scene happens and we see Melody driving along and she's doing her confessional shoot, and she's telling us that after everything happened with Martell's surgery, y'all know he had a Achilles heel or something happen. He got that torn and he had to get surgery on that. After all that happened, they actually came together. Things had been going well, and they were literally heading out of town when a phone call came through. Blocked number, all that. So she answered the phone. Now, this is his phone. She answered the phone and a woman picked up, and it was the same woman who he'd been cheating with before. So he said that he didn't know why she was calling. He hadn't talked to her, and she said that she didn't believe him. And now she's on her way to see what her options are, just in case she does decide to get a divorce, because she's sick of it. She's had her heart broken, and she doesn't want to keep going through the same thing with him. She thought that they had moved forward, but apparently they haven't. So she ain't here for it, and she's about to see what her options are. So Martell went to get counseling, individual counseling, because of the situation that happened with the phone call. He told the person, the counselor, or whatever his title actually is, because I don't want to say therapist or whatever if that's not what it is. It did say counseling within the title. Anyway, he went to this counselor's office to get one-on-one individual services, and he wanted to know why he was there, and he was saying because of infidelity on my part. And this is something that has been ongoing, but I have not had any communications or any interaction with her for 5 months. And then she called me out of the blue. I felt as though if I didn't answer the phone, then she would have questions. So I answered the phone, and it was her, the person who he, been caught up with before. So then Melody talked to her. She expressed to her and him how she felt about that situation. And, which was, she was very upset. She was mad. I'm pretty sure she was cussing and fussing, but the way that they try to explain it when they're doing their confessional, it is completely different than what actually happens. Because we've seen them go all the way off. Melody has gone all the way off because she'll be like, I told her that I was very unhappy that this happened. This made me so sad. And then when they are dead, cameras are right in front of them and the situation pop off, it's a completely different person. So I'm like, I understand that you're trying to hold back a little bit, but just give us the real. I don't like that. Be real with us. No. So in his mind, he feels as though, let me get these sessions in so that I can get myself straight a little bit before I go to her and even tell her that I'm doing these sessions. And I'm like, at this point, I feel like if you really were going to be done, why not change your number? You have enough money. You have all these contracts. Y'all have all this money. You can change your phone number. And I understand you have people who have 1, 2, or 3 of your numbers, because y'all saw last time he had 3 phones. I'm pretty sure she got all the numbers. But anyway, you could have been changed your number and gave out the new numbers to people. It ain't that deep. I don't understand. So that's what he doing. And now she actually is on her way somewhere to seek legal counsel, I'm pretty sure. Y'all, this is completely random, but I just saw a commercial for Black and Blue. It's a movie that's going to come out. It has Tyrese and a lot of other people that I've seen in various TV shows and movies before. Look like it's gonna be good. It's about some woman who is a police officer, and she comes on the scene and she sees one of her fellow brothers in blue or whatever they call them kill somebody, and she wasn't supposed to see that. And she gets it on her body cam, and now they're searching for her. And apparently, she's done like all these tours in Afghanistan or somewhere, and she is very, very tough. So I might have to look at that. I look like that might be good. All right, y'all. So I stand corrected. I want to make sure that I say this because I don't want any backlash or whatever. And I'm not trying to get at anybody. I wasn't trying to step on anybody's toes. I honestly didn't see it. But the guy who Martell went to see, he is a psychologist, my bad. So I am glad that I saw that. So anyway, what they're doing is they're going back and forth between Melody's scene and Martell's scene. And Melody is, like I said, seeking like legal counsel, trying to figure out what her options are. And while she's talking to one of the people at the law firm, they're saying to her that in the state of Alabama, given what their situation is as far as why she wants to file, she would be able to get half or more, depending on how bad the situation is, or how much more at fault the other person is. So if a judge were to deem that he really was at fault and he really did the absolute most, she could get half or more. And since they had been married at least 10 years, she would be able to get half of his retirement. I have told people, if you are done with these people, don't sit up here and say, I'm married to them, but I ain't gonna get divorced. Do you know how many people I know who really have done that? Relatives included, who have stayed married to somebody over 10 years now, at least 10 years. So the other person that you're not even with, that you supposedly ain't thinking about, if you were to die right now or whenever you are old enough and you decide to retire, they get half of your money. They get half of your retirement. Okay? Oh, okay. Like, I've told people this so many times and I don't understand. And my mama has told like some of the people in my family who have decided that this was okay to do. When it's like, okay, you're done with this person, why not just get divorced? You want to, I guess some people, not necessarily in my family's case, there are some people who just want to fake the funk and make it seem like everything is okay. And, oh, you know, for the children, you know, y'all know I'm here for the children. But at the same time, don't sit up here and try to fake for church and people, because people will let you down. And in your case, the person that you were with let you down, or you let that other person down. The relationship needs to be over. Just dissolve everything, be done. You should have been done with that before an opportunity was going to be able to present itself to where your money is going to be affected. So if nothing else, half of what these people are supposed to get in retirement, once they start drawing it, they ain't gonna get but half of it, and they're gonna be looking crazy because you sat up here and stayed married to these people. I digress. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. That's just something that always irks my soul. I cannot do it. So anyway, but yeah, she's excited to hear that news. Excuse me. Ooh, y'all. Let me take a sip. I be doing it, my bad. Ooh. So back where Martell is, the psychologist. Lord, I always want to say one when I mean the other. He's talking to him, and he was talking about self-discovery, self-taught, self-aware, basically learning things about yourself first. You had to learn stuff about yourself before you could sit up here and try to figure out what you need to do in order to get through to somebody else. So yeah, self-love, self-something, y'all, something self. I want to put it on mute and see what it is, because I don't want to play it out and be looking crazy. But yeah, he did just mention that. Let me see if I can catch it real quick. Because he asked him, hey, he heard of it before, but he hadn't. But yeah, I ain't got my glasses on. Self-study. That's what I meant. Self-study. That's what he said. But anyway, yeah, it's just a lot going on, and she's basically saying that it's over, but I ain't gonna believe it until I'm the type of person that I don't believe anybody who says, I'm gonna get a divorce, or they gonna get me a divorce until I see a divorce decree. Do you know how many times I have asked to see a divorce decree when somebody rolled up on me and told me that they had been married? Oh, okay, what a divorce decree? Only one person has produced a divorce decree, and I know what they look like, so you can't sit up here and try to fool me and actually sit up there and fake a document. I know what it looked like. I know what the stamp looked like on it. I know the format looked like. You can't trick me. You cannot trick me. I know what the affidavit, all that stuff's supposed to look like, so you can't get me like that. Tell these people to produce a, say it with me? Like, I'm tired. Like, people be like, oh, you own it. I'm like, no, I don't want to sit up here and get got. If that's not what I want, then I don't want to sit up here and look like a fool. And I'm sitting up here dealing with somebody who is, and I hate people that do that. They be like, well, we ain't together no more, but we dating other people. Get a divorce then. Get a divorce then. Like, if you feel like that, get a divorce. Why are you sitting up here dealing with other people? You got a whole new situation going on. You claim that you don't want this person no more. Why are you sitting up here still having these legal ties to this person? And then in most cases, what kills me is it ain't even about the money. These people don't be having money like that. Especially at the time when they really realize I'm done with this person all the way. I don't want nothing to do with it no more. You can get legal aid and get it done for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, free, for free. Not $1, not $2, not $100, not $500, for free, because your income would allow for it to happen. And that's something that really irks my soul. So I'm sorry for harping on this for so long. That really does irk my soul, because there's so many people out here who are still legally married. And it really don't deal with these people anymore, but they just sat up here and stayed married to these people 10, 15, and 20 years, and they ain't what no more. And that's just dumb to me. But I digress. Anyway, you know what? This man better be over here preaching. This man told him that interpersonal relationships are what a lot of people don't see when they see a couple. They'll look over there and see a couple together, whether they're at the church, they out in public, they look nice. Everything looks amazing. Oh, look at that couple over there. But when you are by yourselves, or just really in general, y'all don't talk to one another. Communication is terrible. Y'all don't do anything together. Y'all do nothing at all. And that is the biggest puzzle piece that a lot of people are missing. And that's why things don't work out. Okay, so I'm just like, ugh. Martell just told this man that the woman who he had been cheating on his wife with is a peasant. And even he was looking at him like, a peasant? Like, what is your definition of a peasant? And he tried to say that she was low class and all this other stuff. But it kills me. Y'all want to say all this now that you realize you had everything you needed already with you, riding for you, right by your side all this time. Like, they done been together for quite some time. They've been married for like 13 years. They were in college together, all this stuff. So you talking about this woman was a peasant, but you sure was dipping and whatever for like, what, 3 years? Or sometime within a 3-year span, you were dealing with this person, but she was low class. But what were you, though? What were you? I'll wait. Who were you? Anyway, y'all, I can't. It got to a point where he told him that he had to be able to face the man that's in the mirror looking back at him. And, you know, y'all, I be having to remember that him and Marceau are brothers, because he making my head hurt. Like, so Mimosas with Melody is going on right now, and Kimmy did show up to support, but she's kind of in camouflage mode, because she kind of had the big hat on and all this other stuff. I'm not sure if she knows she's there yet, but there is a decent turnout, and Kimmy was surprised. So I just want to say that dress is gorgeous that she has on. I love dresses like that. Very gorgeous. Very gorgeous. Like, she be she be pulled together. I don't care what nobody say. She be looking good. Only thing that I could ever say is somewhat negative or whatever about her is her hair. Like, I just wish that since she likes to do that style, I wish that she would get somebody who would give her tracks that were the same color as what she dyes her hair, and then let it blend into the blonde. Like, most of the time it's like, oh, we got this right here, and then this whole nother platinum blonde over here swooped over doing the most. And I'm just like, girl, like, But other than that, like I said, like, she is a very beautiful person to me. I just don't care for her hair 99% of the time because of the color and how nobody, makes it look like it's hers by letting it blend. I feel like you can let it blend in, let it ombre into that other color. Do something. I mean, anyway. So Melody is giving her empowerment speech to people, and then she opens up the floor for questions. And one of the ladies asks that, because everything happened with her husband, they have all this stuff together. How do you move on from that? Like, how do you go on? And so, you're supposed to be over it. And so she asks the woman, like, are you really, like, over it? Are you really, have you really come to terms with it? Are you actually okay? Something about okay. And so that woman, you could tell she was not okay. She said, I went through that situation too. The woman started like crying, tearing up and trying to dry tears. I was like, girl, you are not okay. Like, you still going through. And so I'm glad that Melody saw this woman hurting. And she actually walked down from where she was to greet the woman. And she was like, are you actually okay? And she gave a speech about how she tried to put up this front and make it seem like she was okay. And she would tell herself and tell everybody else that she was okay, but she really wasn't. And she was only hurting herself. And that's very true. And that is true for so many different situations. And I'm glad that she's able to come forward and come out and say this. Now, Kimmy, on the other hand, she was kind of perplexed because Melody somehow is comfortable enough telling complete strangers all of her business and wouldn't tell them anything. And I'm like, okay, you do know that there is such thing as this being the case for a lot of people. For me, I was more comfortable talking to a therapist about what happened to me, the various things in my life that have happened to me. I finally was able to feel free enough to tell my parents these things that happened to me. You know what I'm saying? These are my parents. I've known them my whole life. This woman I knew for 6 months. So, she was amazing at her job, but I felt free. I don't know what it is about talking to strangers, but I felt so free talking to this therapist. And I was so fearful just thinking about discussing anything that has happened to me with my own family and like a lot of my friends too. So I feel good. I get that. So I get both sides, but at the same time, I get why Melody did what she did, because that ain't how everybody roll. Everybody ain't gonna be like, oh, let me tell all my friends that I'm going all the way through, because some of these people you really find out who really are your friends when you going through. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, she was going through. Everybody knew she was going through, and despite whether or not she decides to stay with Martell or not, everybody knows that they're going through, and nobody really has reached out like that. And so I get why, she's more resistant to all of that. So it just is what it is. I'm sorry. I just thought about something that I said earlier. I don't know why I said that, but for some reason I said that Marceau and Martell were brothers. I think it's Maurice and Marceau that are brothers, and the other people, everybody else, just hang out together. But yeah, I'm sorry about that mix up. But anyway, moving right along, Melody did talk to Kimmy one-on-one while at the event, and she was like, thank you for showing up. I didn't see you at the first one. And she was inviting her to something else, and she was like, well, what I will do is I'll put it in my phone. as of right now, I guess I can say, yeah, I'll make it, but I'm not sure. But I gotta check. So I guess they're gonna move on and see what's going on, because she did say, I did try to text you about the comeback group, and I didn't know if I had the right number anymore or if you changed it. She was like, oh no, I saw that number pop up, and not anything that was about the comeback group, I would just delete it and went on by my business. So Kimmy popped up on Letitia while she was at work, and one of her kids was with her. I was like, okay, I don't feel like you've been at this place long enough for these people to just allow you to just have your child there. But I know some places have been more lenient over the years, so whatever. Anyway, so she popped up on her, was talking to her about what happened at Melody's event, and how she was so, open with other people about the infidelity and all that. And then, some stuff got brought up about how, she still ain't really here for Melody like that, because apparently she went on social media and was like, well, I know why Marsau not wearing his ring. And she immediately was like, well, I called her up and, was like, okay, so why wasn't he wearing his ring? Because she was insinuating that he's a cheater as well. So if we're supposed to be friends, why aren't you, giving me a heads up and be like, girl, I'm going through, and I don't want you to go through like me, especially on TV for the world to see. Your man is out here doing dirt. So check into that, get your man, pull him to the side and see what's going on, so you can do whatever you're gonna do. But she put that on social media. I don't know if she said that to be petty. Like I've said before, when I did this review for the first season, I said to y'all, I feel as though Marsau will be cheating, and he one of them dudes that he feel like, I do what I want to do. I'm the alpha male. I get to do everything I want to do. I say what I want to say. I do what I feel. I run this house. I am everything. What I say go. I can do whatever I want to do. You can't question me. So it wouldn't surprise me if all this stuff that they're building up to ends up coming out that he is a cheater. So, she was just like, she ain't no friend. I just feel like, it's one-sided with her, because when situations happen with my grandmama passing away and my aunt passing away, she didn't reach out to me. But when we don't reach out for little stuff for her, then it's a problem. It's always us being the problem, and not, her ever having a problem. So I get their points. Marsau is somewhere in North Huntsville where his wife and he have purchased some sort of mall that is no longer in use. And I guess they're going to turn that into office space for the two of them. And his brother rolls up. And, that's Maurice. And so he's talking to him, and he was explaining to him what that vision was, and how how Letitia was the one who basically came up with most of the idea. And then he brought up everything going on with his mother-in-law going to be moving in and helping out. And he literally said that he feels as though motherhood is being outsourced. The things that he comes up with, I'm just like, why are you mad that your wife is working and contributing to the bills? Your children are still being cared for. It's not like she doesn't spend any time with her kids. She is still very much so focused on her kids, but she just has a career now. She's still taking them to school. She's still doing the absolute most, but she wants to put some of that on her mother from time to time. It'll make it easier for them. Especially like when he's going to be out of town, because he plans on being out of town from time to time with work. So what's wrong with somebody helping out? Like, I don't understand. He has these issues with her mama, and her mama is a straight shooter. So I'm kind of positive that that's the reason why. So she don't take no medicine. So Martell came to the house, and Melody is actually folding up some of his clothes. He's supposed to be gone by that night. And she was like, you're supposed to be gone. He was like, yeah, tonight. So she was like, yeah, you're supposed to be gone by tonight. And so he tried to talk to her, and she was like, there's nothing else to talk about. You're supposed to be gone. There's nothing to talk about. So it ended with Martell and Melody going back and forth. And she was like, I'm not here for it. You need to get your stuff and get out like you promised. Because at first he was trying to say he was just going to go upstairs and go to another room, be on the other side of the house. And she was like, no, you said you're going to get out. You uphold your end of the bargain and get out of the house. Nothing to discuss. It's over. Goodbye. So that was the episode. I hope that y'all enjoyed this recap. Y'all have a good one. Bye.